Mhm.
ẹni tá a rí tó ń lọ bí aṣọ mi ní òjò tá a lọ sí kíní. Ó bá ṣáà dídẹ̀ lọ lọ́wọ́ dé.
Sustainable greetings to everyone in your respective location. On behalf of the SDGs African Mentorship Program team members and the Africa as a whole, you are all welcome to today's workshop. Without a doubt, we believe the last session was such a great and insightful one. We are here again to learn and we assure you a better session today. And welcome back from the long break, from the assessment. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to you guys. We'd really missed you. Meanwhile, before we proceed to today's topic, as a reminder or feedback, we would like to hear from two participants speak on what they learned or took home from last month's session. You can talk about the assessment, your outreach, and also your interactive sessions with your fellow students. If you would like to volunteer, kindly use the raise hand option to indicate when we grant you permission to unmute and share your thoughts with us. I will also read 3 feedbacks on YouTube. Hello, would like to hear from you. Hello, Campus Ambassadors.
I have raised my hand. I don't know if you can see it.
Can't see it. Who are you?
Me too.
Nicole from Malawi.
Okay, Nicole, you can go ahead and speak.
Okay. I am going to talk about the video project and what I learned from the video project. I was in SDG 6, that's clean water and sanitation, and I was the team lead. What I learned from the video project was teamwork and ability to learn from other people, knowing that you're not know it all, being able to listen to your group members and not shut them out. And we were from different countries and raised differently, so it was up to me to put everyone together, make them understand that the video project would come out properly if we work together and bring our thoughts together. And actually it came out properly and everything was done well and it was submitted before the deadline. Yeah, so I learned teamwork and the ability to learn from other people. Thank you.
Sorry. That's really great, Nicole Kasisi from Malawi. There was a second hand from someone else, can't recall her name. Kindly turn on the microphone and then share with us how the experience was, and kindly be precise and very short. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Tanyara Zamakoni from Zimbabwe. And I believe that I have learned, especially from the outreach, I've learned to be patient and to be optimistic as well, because it was really hard to anticipate whether people would come for the outreach or not. But I think being patient and giving ourselves grace as well. Thank you. Thank you,
Any other
Amanda.
person? Any other person? You're welcome, Makoni. Any other person? One last person. Let me check anybody in the chat box. I can't see anyone. You can type if you can't speak. Just one more person from the chat box, and then we'll go back for 3 more from YouTube. One person who can't speak and is ready to type in the chat box, you can tell us about how your experience has been since you joined, and please be precise and very short. Okay, kindly, Madam Yetunde, could you please read us from YouTube any other person who is interested in sharing their experiences
Okay, I don't think there's any shared experience here yet, so we can proceed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Madam Yetunde. So I know you are all curious. Maybe some of you have forgotten me. I am your moderator. I am Pauline Nyaribo, a program associate at ADEV Africa. I'll be taking you through the remaining session for today. And I have my colleague here. She's Madam Yetunde Junaid. She's our head of program associates. So I know we are really excited after a very long time being free. So we are really looking forward for today's facilitator. I know you've been anxious. You've really been preparing and looking out for this, especially now that you're back to your campuses. And I'm so happy. So just quickly, I know you are curious about our today's facilitator, and this facilitator has done a lot of things. So we are going to quickly go through his profile, and then you can learn a lot from him. So he's going to take us through communication. His name is Mr. Samuel Olabisi. Mr. Samuel Olabisi has been doing so much for the past few years, especially in ADEV Africa. So I'm going to read about him briefly. So Mr. Olabisi seems to have been a very good leader. He has been doing a lot in the community. Yeah, he's been doing so much for the community, and I know you're looking forward to getting to know what he has been doing. So, hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. So Mr. Olabisi Samuel is going to take us through our today's sessions. The topic is essential communication skills for the next gen leader, and that is you, campus ambassadors. So just a brief profile about him. Samuel Olabisi is a visionary leader, an SDG advocate with a proven track record of driving positive change, a certified business administration and management graduate. Is also mastered the art of management and organization in various settings. Wow. As a seasoned leader, Samuel has excelled in various roles, including departmental president during his university days, where he fostered better relations among students and staff. He was honored with the title of Best President of the Faculty. Samuel is currently leading the SDG-CAP project at ADEV Africa, leveraging his expertise to drive sustainable development. Beyond his professional endeavors, he is also dedicated to making a difference in the community, especially for the less privileged. He's been organizing programs to reach out to the less privileged and also collaborated with other individuals. He currently works with an NGO by the name Handy Innovation Foundation that empowers members of his community with skill, and he's also privileged to be the instructor that heads the catering and confectionery department. On a lighter note, Samuel shares inspiring kingdom facts with believers on TikTok. That is at smart underscore Psalm 15, spreading positivity and encouragement. You can all go and follow him after our today's sessions too. And Samuel's leadership is guided by his core values for love, honesty, resilience. His faith informs his actions, and he continues to grow and learn as a leader, adapting to new challenges and opportunities. So that is all about Mr. Olabisi. This is all about him. He's going to take us through essential communication skills for the next gen. Mr. Olabisi, are you in the call?
I'm here very well. Thank you very much. Hello, good day to you.
Good day to you too, Mr. Olabisi. So you are welcome. You have the floor for the next 45 minutes. You're
Thank you. Thank you
welcome.
very, very much. I'm very grateful for that. So I want to say a beautiful good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all campus ambassadors out there. I want to believe you all have had a wonderful experience while you have been here at ADEF International. And it's important that you all being here today prove to us once again that you are truly resilient for the sustainability of the SDG goals over the years. So just like the moderator today have said, I will be taking us on a presentation titled The Essential Communication Skills for the Next Generation Leaders. The essential communication skills for the next generation leaders. Hearing this topic, I would like to hear from the ambassadors. Someone said from the chat box that my voice is low. I'm not sure that's from my hand. If is there another person having that issue from their hand where they cannot hear me properly?
You are sounding well and loud enough. So I
Thank
think they
you.
need to check their network. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much once again. So like I said earlier, I will be taking us on essential communication skill for the next generation leaders. It is important. This particular topic is important because of for every leader to succeed in their various spheres of leadership, communication and how to manage communication, it's very essential. And that is why ADEV has taken it upon themselves to give us active knowledge, necessary knowledge and concepts that we need to know about communication for a leader. You might want to ask yourself, okay, I'm not a leader, I'm not leading in anywhere. So why do I need this topic? Why do I need to be a part of this workshop? Well, I will say you should be patient and join us throughout this topic so that you could know how this topic can be very important to you. So before we even dive into the next and the main teachings for today, looking through the next slide, you will see what we call quotable quotes. The next slide, please. I believe you all can see my screen, right? Okay, so like I said, seeing through the next slide, you see what is written here, quotable quote, and I intentionally wanted to start with this quote so that we could understand what we're diving into. Charlie Kaufman is a scriptwriter and he's a novelist and a movie director. He said in one of his gatherings where he was teaching some young persons, he said, consistently talking isn't necessarily communication. Consistently talking isn't necessarily communication. So in other words, you could be consistently speaking and saying things, but Charlie Kaufman makes us to understand that the fact you are talking does not necessarily mean you are communicating. And then James Holmes also said, James Holmes is a professor of language and leadership. And he said in one of his lectures, he said, the act of communication is the language of leadership. I'll take that again. He said, the act of communication is a language of leadership. In other words, what James is trying to say, what Professor James is trying to say here is that if we are going to understand leadership and actually understand what leadership stands for, then we must understand that the very act of communication is the language of leadership. In other words, a leader that does not understand communication to his best, a leader that does not understand or know what communication is, will have a lot of difficulty with his team lead. So after saying all that, I would like to proceed with the next slide. And if you look at your slide, we will see that the next slide is talking about what is communication. What is communication? Checking through the next slide. Next slide, please. So like I said, what is communication? There are several definitions to communication, and I could have given you a very lengthy one, but I wanted to make it simple and understandable. The simplest way, I believe you're seeing my screen, the simplest way is to describe what communication is the sending and receiving of information. The simplest way to describe communication is what? The sending and receive of information. You don't send or receive noise. You don't send or receive unnecessary, irrelevant sound. Every art of communication is to the extent that what? That information is passed from the sender to the receiver. And let's go ahead. Then after communication, one of the things we'll also be looking next is what are the components of communication? What are the components of communication? What makes up communication? What are the stages or what are the essential components of communication? And that is what we'll have in the next slide. Components of communication. I'm very familiar. There are some of you are already aware or you are familiar with this concept and the things that we are saying currently, but it is important that we start this from this very foundation for the sake of those that might have not understood completely what communication is. So that is why, like I said, the components of communication is the first component that we have here. For every communication, there must be a sender, and that is also called an encoder. There must be a sender who is also called what? An encoder. For every communication, there must be a message. Like I defined in the definition of communication, I said there must be an information. Now, they are saying here in the component of communication that for every communication, there must be what? A sender. And then moving ahead, for every communication, there must be a channel or a medium. There must be what? A channel or a medium. What are we talking about, channels or medium? In other words, there are several ways by which communication is done. It can be written, it can be unwritten, it can be oral, and all those channels falls down to the items that are listed along with the channels there, which are, it could be through phone calls, it could be through emails, it could be through video calls, and all this is to the extent that the next component, which is the receiver, also called decoder, can effectively understand and comprehend the message that have been communicated by the sender. And then one of the most important parts of components of communication that we have is what? The feedback. Communication is not complete without a feedback. That is why it is important for every leader out there to pay a close attention to feedback. For every communication that you have out there and you are not willing to entertain feedback, your communication is said to be what? Incomplete. So like I said, going through the components of communication, we have what? The sender, we have the message, we have the channel, we have the receiver, and we have what? The feedback. And now the next slide that we'll be talking about, just like you know what the topic for today is, the essential components for I'm sorry for that. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Am I still audible?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So like I said earlier, we all know that the topic that we are discussing is the essential communication skill for the next generation leaders. So when we have been able to define what communication in itself is, now it is also important that we define what leadership communication is. That is what we have in our current slide. As you can see, what is leadership communication? Reading through what is written there, it says leadership communication is how leaders inform and inspire others, and it encompasses verbal, non-verbal, written messages, from giving instruction and feedback to direct reports, to sharing the vision with employees, to mediating conflicts with teams, to providing updates to stakeholders. Effective communication in leadership is critical. Effective communication in what? In leadership is what? Is critical. In other words, if there would be a successful leader, show me a successful leader, and I will show you a leader that is that has an effective communication skill. So let's go ahead to still talking about what is leadership communication. If you check the next slide, you will see I said there that many leaders, the next slide, please. Many leaders struggle to effectively communicate their vision, leading to misunderstanding and a misconception within their team. Poor workplace communication isn't just a minor hiccup. It can hinder productivity, lower morals, and impair organization success. But here is the good news. Effective leadership communication skill can be learned and refined. What am I trying to say here is perhaps you are here and you are a leader, and over time you don't or you have not understood what it means to effectively communicate with your teammates. With this workshop today, after here, you will be able to understand why it is important for you as a leader to communicate effectively, and what are those essential skills that you need to communicate effectively with your teammates. I believe the ambassadors are here with us, and they can see what they can see and hear what we are saying here today. So the question now is, what are these essential communication skills? Taking us to the next slide. What are these essential communication skills? Because you will ask yourself, okay, the topic today is the essential communication skill for the next generation leaders. Now, the question is, what are these communication skills? Before I go ahead, I would like the ambassadors to drop a comment of one or two things they think as essential communication skill that is needed for a leader. I expect the ambassadors on the Zoom meeting and as well as the YouTube to drop what are these skills based on what you have learned over the years, based on what you know over the years. What are these skills that you think are essential for the next generation leaders? What do you think is necessary? Okay, so I can see Makoni from Zimbabwe. She said, or he said, sorry, active listening. Thank you very much. I can see someone said clarity, being precise, critical thinking, clarity, confidence. Okay, so skill of public speaking. That's from Rose. And then one more person says conciseness. Beautiful. That's very beautiful. You all have participated and you have given beautiful ideas. And so
So
just to
sorry,
rush
sir.
through.
So sorry, sir. I just need to inform every participant to start annotating on the screen, please. It's going to mar the
Yeah,
screen. Thank you.
thank you very much. Just like Ms. Yetunde have said, please stop tapping on the screen. Okay, so the next slide that we have here, just like the first person said in the chat box, is what? Active listening, and that is exactly where we'll be starting from as one of the essential communication skill for the next generation leader. So we have active listening as the first communication skill. The next slide, please. The first effective communication skill that a leader needs for the next generation. So if you see on the next slide, active listening, it says here, let's read through what is here. I believe the participants, the ambassadors are with us on this call and they are following us effectively. The reason why, if you check most of the documents or most of the write-up that you have out there in on Google or anywhere you could lay your hands on any document that has to do with effective communication skill. If you check through those documents, one of the first things that is always listed as the most important essential skill is active listening. Please take me back to active listening, the slide for active listening. And if you see what it says here, it says, leadership isn't just about what you say. Please follow me because we are diving into the communication skill now, the essential skills now. It says the leadership isn't just about what you say, it is about what you hear. Effective leadership shows, effective leaders know that listening is a cornerstone of effective communication. By practicing engaged listening skill, leaders can make team members feel heard and valued, which help and build trust and enhance collaboration. If there is one thing every leader wants in his team or her team is teamwork, is collaboration. And we are saying here that one of the skills that is used to foster collaboration and to foster teamwork among the teammates is active listening. As a leader, you must understand that just talking or just being able to communicate your goals, your missions, and your ideas is very important. But then beyond communicating what you want from your teammates, you must have the power to listen. It is important that you have the power to listen, because for every leader that wants to succeed in his endeavor as a leader, he must be able to give ears to the yearnings of his teammates. So someone said that it is even more preferable to listen than to talk. So we should do more of listening than talking. And this goes as well to even teammates. It is important that you learn to listen, because if you don't listen to what the leaders are saying, you cannot, once again, you cannot effectively deliver what is expected of you by the leader. So all leaders, all teammates must cultivate the skill of listening actively. Listening intentional. You must be intentional about your listening. It's very important. The next one, thank you very much. The next skill that we'll be having is what? The second one is empathy and emotional intelligence. Empathy and emotional intelligence. Just like it's written here, it says empathy and emotional intelligence allow leaders to understand and connect with their team members on a personal level. Leaders know that by recognizing and acknowledging the emotions of others, they can foster a supportive work environment where employees feel comfortable sharing their ideas and concern. Don't be, let me use the word, don't be an heartless leader. You know, some leaders are so particular about, about their teammates doing what they ask them to do. They pay little or no attention to what the emotional needs of their teammates are. And it is important as leaders to understand that your teammate, your employee, will not be able to deliver to the uttermost if he or she has emotional issues. If he or she is struggling with personal issues that are not yet resolved, that teammate will not be able to deliver. So you can say all that you need to say, you can communicate all that you need to communicate, but if your teammates are emotionally down, you need to show empathy by understanding. There are sometimes that you have a teammate, for example, you have a teammate that is always very joyful, always happy. That teammate is called the life of the party. And then that is how this person is, your team, that particular teammate is, or your employee is. And then one day he comes in and he's looking moody and nonchalant, and he's giving this attitude of not okay. And then without considering this teammate's personality traits, which is usually happy, life of the party, and then you just dive in to go and be giving instruction, go do this, go do this, go do that. Yes, such a teammate might be obligated to give attention to what you are saying and just go and do it. But as a leader that has empathy, there are times where you realize that, oh, this my teammate is not in the right frame of mind. Let's have a talk. So there are times that you might have to sit your teammates down and have a talk with them rather than just dishing out instructions and direction. Because of our time, we'll be moving to the next skill that is needed for a leader to succeed, and that is the next slide, which is transparency. Being transparent about assignment, upcoming workload, changes, and everything else have to do with your team. Employees, teammates who never know what is going on can get behind on work, feel distracted, and really get the opportunity to share their idea. It is important as leaders to be transparent about the workload, to be transparent about what is expected of every teammate. Why? Because a teammate or a team, an employee that understand the urgency and the importance of the task that has been given to him will put in his or her best to deliver. But when you make the task that you have given to your teammates almost less important, and you have not given them the reason why they should be agile and effective about the task you have given, they will be lackadaisical. There will be some certain, there will be disregard for the job. But when they understand how important it is that they meet up, they will be. So it is important that you are transparent as a leader. And then the next effective communication skill needed for a leader, according to the next slide that you will be seeing now, is conflict resolution. If there is one thing that is consistent in every organization, in every team, in every gathering of teammates, team members, employees, or group of persons, is conflict. Conflict is, you can't do without conflict in anywhere people gather. Where just two persons are, there is bound to be conflict. A leader's ability to effectively resolve conflict through communication is a skill that should not be negotiable. That is why it says here that every workplace faces conflict, but strong leaders turn them into opportunity for growth. Conflict resolution is a key communication skill that involves listening actively, addressing concern fairly, and finding solutions that benefit all parties. By handling disagreements constructively, leaders maintain a positive team dynamics, build trust, and ensure conflicts don't derail progress or morale. So you can see what I just said earlier. Conflict is something that we cannot but face in every organization and in every gathering. But a strong leader will turn conflict into what? Into an advantage to the organization and to the teammate. It is to the extent that what you do not allow conflict to derail the work progress or to bring down the morale of the teammates. And so that will be moving to the next communication skill that is essential for the next generation leader. The next slide is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. As a leader, you must understand that beyond your word, in Nigeria, where we come from, our mothers are from the tribe that is called the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria, the western part of Nigeria. And if there is something that we know in our tribe, our mother don't need to talk before they communicate what they want to communicate. A simple glance, a simple body movement, a simple waving of hand. The children understand what their parents are trying to say. So that is invariably what we are trying to talk about when we say non-verbal communication. As a leader, you must understand that beyond your words, your body movements, your gesticulations, your eye contacts, and all those other non-verbal communication means are very important. Communication skills for leaders go beyond words. Non-verbal cues like body language, tones of voice are just as important. Employees constantly pick up on these signals. So it is essential for leaders to ensure that their actions match their words. Simple gesture like maintaining a high contact and using open body language can reinforce trust and clarity, making every interaction more impactful. I believe that was clear and we understand what we said there. Non-verbal communication is essential for every leader that wants to strive in the workplace, that wants to strive with his teammate. Because as a leader, you must understand that you don't raise your tone when you're trying to communicate certain things. The raising of your voice could communicate something different to what you are actually trying to communicate. So as a leader, saying something like, try to give an example now. When you say something like, come here, it's different from, come here. You understand that the rise and fall in your tone could give a wrong perception or a wrong understanding of what you're communicating. Come here is a simple gesture or is a simple communication that is requiring your teammates to come closer to you. But when you say, come here, it is more or less like a command, and your teammates might not find that very, very pleasing. and it might make such a teammate not to give the necessary contribution that is needed as a teammate. So we must understand non-verbal communication as a leader. And then we have the next one from the slide that will be coming up is accessibility. As a leader, you must understand that you must be accessible. Your teammates, your employees should not want to communicate with you and you are nowhere to be found. Yes, we understand that there are hierarchies to communication in every organization. There are hierarchies there. We have the middle manager, we have the top manager, we have the lower manager. You know, all this set of managers are there are hierarchies to the communication channel. And a bottom manager, a down communication bottom manager cannot or should not, in most organization structure, go directly to the top managers. He should communicate with the middle managers. The middle managers should communicate with the top managers. This is mostly the channel of communication in every organization. However, every leader must understand accessibility for their teammates to work effective. That is why it says visibility is a form of communication. That you are available shows certain communication, that it proves that you are trying to communicate something. A leader that is not present is a leader that is not communicating. If you want to communicate well, be accessible. Emails and official message ain't enough. Be present, be visible, and be available. You know, it is important that every leader understand that beyond the fact that I have given the task and I have communicated what I want them to do, you must also understand that you must be readily available to be accessible by your teammates. You must be what? Readily available to be accessible by your teammates. This is important for any workplace that wants to progress. Very important. For every workplace that wants to progress, it is very, very important. So you must be accessible. One of the ways by which leaders can make this is you will go into some organizations and you will see on their walls suggestion box, you know, channel. This an example of that suggestion box is a way by which the teammates can sorry for that, there is a light out at my location here, and I'm trying to come up with an alternative for that. And I'm very certain this is not bright enough, but it's still workable. And then in that, so I was talking about suggestion box in organization. Those suggestion box, they are to the extent that teammates can access the leaders. And then we have the last what they call it, the last essential skill that I will be talking about. There are more, just like you all have listed in the chat box. There are much more, but the other ones that we will be talking about is asking good question. Ask good question. As a leader, you must understand that asking question is essential for your team to strive. And that is why I said leaders ask powerful questions. Ask powerful questions that open the door to learning what others really think and feel. The best leadership questions get right to the heart of things, cut through complicated situations, and identify levels that will really make a difference. So the question is, why are leaders asking questions? It is important that every good leader learn to ask questions so that they can understand the way that their teammates thinks, so that they can understand the way that their teammates reason. Another reason why as a leader, you must ask questions is so that you can know for a certain if your teammate understands the task that has been given. So, for instance, you told your teammates, do this, do this, do this. A good leader should learn to ask questions. Okay, so what did I ask you to do? If that teammate is able to recap everything that you have asked of him or her, it shows that your communication is effective. So ask good questions. Ask questions to know how your teammate thinks. Ask questions to know if your teammate understands your task, and ask questions so that your teammate can give you an idea of how their brain work. This is important for every good leader. So remember what I said in the beginning of this training, this workshop, that effective communication is said to have happened when the sender sends its message and the receiver understands the message. So it is not enough for you to just send out a communication or send out a message. Your receiver, which is the decoder, must be able to comprehend must be able to comprehend your message. So if I have the ambassadors following, I would like them to quickly list the components of communication as earlier said in this workshop. While I go ahead, I will check the chat box later. The essential, don't go back to your to the slide. I want to believe you understand what we have said about the components of communication. So if you remember that, give me a quick list of the components of communication, while we quickly look at the next slide, which is other essential skill. Like I told you, there are other essential skill. Looking through the next slide now, there are other essential skill for the next generation leaders. So the next slide, please. The next slide is other essential skill. It says what? The first one is storytelling. Storytelling. I might not be able to go deep into all this because of my time. My time is fast spent. As a leader, you must be able to tell stories. You must be concise with your story, with whatever communication or whatever message you are trying to pass. There must be clarity, body language, adaptability, confidentiality, and constructive feedback. Constructive what? Constructive feedback. So I think I want to talk about confidentiality for a leader. You must know, you must understand this skill, because a leader that cannot does not understand confidentiality will be the reason why there are conflicts in the organization. A leader that does not understand confidentiality will be the reason why there are consistent conflicts in the organization, in a gathering. So you must understand that it is important for you as leaders to have a certain level of confidentiality. Also, you must understand as a leader that there are certain things that teammates, employees will bring to your table, and probably they will expect you to be confidential about it. But you must understand that there are certain things that you must address in the public, among your teammates, so that there can be there will not be any hindrance to workflow. There are things you must be confidential about, and there are other things you must address with your teammates. It is when you understand this and you understand the line between this thing, that is when you will know that it is important that every teammate information to you as a leader could be either confidential or could be a matter to address publicly among your teammates, of course. So conclusion, okay, so in conclusion, while I wait for the next slide, okay, so I can see the response of the ambassadors. Okay, so Fiasa Damda, you gave me the essential skill, good, but that was not what I requested for. Victoria from Nigeria, yes, the sender, the message, the channel, the receiver, the feedback. Yes, I can see Olajumoke. I can see your response. I can see your response. Unweneza, I can see your response. Happiness, Ibrahim, I can see your response. Thank you very, very much for your response. However, in conclusion now, listen to what I said as a conclusion from the slide. I believe you can see through the slide. The slide, please. The next slide, please. Okay, so the last and the concluding part of this workshop is in a world where there are so many leaders who know how to talk, we need more leaders who know how to listen. We need more leaders who know how to listen, because just the conclusion is simple, is clear, and is direct. I could have made the conclusion very large and very bulky, but no, I felt it is important that we understand, like I said while I was talking about active listening, that listening is very important in every communication. If you do not listen and understand the perspective where your sender is coming from, you cannot give the right feedback. Feedbacks are also message. Feedbacks are also what? Feedbacks are also message. And if you do not understand the message, you cannot give the right feedback. So in a world where we have so many people, you know, we have so many experienced leaders, we have so many good leaders, and we have so many leaders that are very good with their words, they know how to communicate. But we also need, in this same world, leaders that are what? Leaders that know how to listen. So I'm calling on the ambassadors, every one of you that are out there today, learn to give attention to listening. And I'm particularly streamlining this to my relationship with you all on the WhatsApp communication, on the WhatsApp platform. Over time, and this is not just about your cohort. I've had similar issue with other cohorts. We do not pay attention to details of instructions that are given. Now I'm talking about written communication, of course. Through your WhatsApp platform, tasks are given to you all as ambassadors. And I realized over time that you ambassadors do not pay attention. You pay little or no attention to the information that are passed via your email, via the WhatsApp platform. Why? Because you listen to respond. You don't listen to understand, which is a very wrong skill, a very wrong thing as a leader. I'm calling us this day, I'm challenging us this day, whenever you see a message, before you respond, ensure there is proper understanding of what you have read or listened to. In fact, before responding, if there is a need to ask question, ask question. I have seen information or tasks that are given to you guys, you all, in your email or even in your WhatsApp platform, and then I will see questions on the group, on the WhatsApp platform, of what to do. Meanwhile, what to do has already been answered in the task that was given, but we pay little or no attention to details. So paying attention to details is as good as listening. So I'm challenging us today as ambassadors, as I conclude, that we should learn to pay attention to details we should give more attention to listening. And I will end with this. I said this earlier, that we do not listen to respond. Stop listening, stop reading to reply, stop reading to respond. Start listening to understand. Start listening to do what? To understand. Start reading to comprehend. It is in comprehension that you can give the right what? The right feedback. On that note, I'm saying thank you very much for your time. And you have an assignment which I will be expecting all community managers. I believe that the teammates, the team leaders for all the SDG groups are on this call now. So even outside of this place, communicate the assignments to your teammates on your respective SDG groups, and I will be expecting a feedback. Now, the assignments, the next slide. So for your assignments, every ambassador should be a part of this. The next slide, please. I would also take our time to drop the assignments on your WhatsApp platform. But like I said, every teammate, every team leader or teammate, or even the assistant teammate should please go ahead and communicate the assignments to all teammates, and we will be expecting the response to the assignment. So, Monsieur, today, please, the next slide for the assignment. The next slide for the assignment, please. Okay, so for the sake, okay, since that is the lane, the assignment is this. Listen to the assignment. As campus ambassadors, okay, thank you very much, Ms. Yetunde. As campus ambassadors, reflect on a personal experience where you are as a leader or a teammate, effectively utilize one or more of the essential communication skill. Those are the skills that we just talked about. Reflect on one or more of them where, okay, let me read that again. Where you as a leader or as a teammate effectively utilized one or more of the essential communication skill for leaders. Identify the specific skill that made a significant impact on the communication outcome. From all these essential skills that we talked about earlier, rack your brain and think of an experience you've had in the time past where one of them or multiple helped you to give a better outcome to your work. Now, how do you submit? Share this story on your LinkedIn, following and tagging ADEF and tagging myself. I believe every one of you are already following ADEF on LinkedIn. So tag ADEF, share your story on LinkedIn and tag ADEF, and also tag me in your communication. My LinkedIn page is a new page. I had an issue with my old page, so you might not be finding a lot of engaging thing there, but I've been trying to engage the account. But I will be sharing my link on your WhatsApp platform as well. You are expected to follow and you're expected to share your story, tagging me as well on your LinkedIn. Thank you very much for a wonderful time. I believe you all have had opportunity to learn one or two things from this workshop. If there will be any question, I will be available to attend to them. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. We are so grateful to have you on this call. Thank you so much. And I believe that every older person have also learned from this section. We really, really appreciate you. If you have any question, you can drop it on the chat box or raise your hand to ask the question while we still have Mr. Sam on this call presently. Okay, I don't think there's any question from anyone. Okay, on behalf of ADF Africa, really appreciate you, Mr. Samuel Olabisi. Thank you for coming today, and we appreciate everything you have said to us. It has been impactful. It has really opened our eyes to a lot of things that we might not have seen before now. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Please, let's appreciate Mr. Sam on the chat box. Let's give him emoji. Let's send him his flowers. And I think that will be all for today. Every other communication will be communicated on the WhatsApp group and or sent to us accordingly. So thank you everyone for joining this call. It has been an amazing one. Yes, I can just say officially, welcome back to class. So see you next week. Again on another section, very interesting section. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Excuse me,
Bye.
madam.
You said?
Excuse me.
You said?
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm requesting Mr. Samuel to help me elaborate more about the video outreach because, okay, we had a confusion whereby we're discussing with our friends in our group for SDG, but we don't know what should we include in our videos. Are we talking specifically for only the what our special SDG? Like if I chose SDG 7, when I do the video outreach, am I supposed to talk about SDG 7 only, or I should talk about all the SDGs? Thank you.
Hello, are you hearing me? Okay, so thank you very much. I heard that question, and okay, before I attend to that, I think there was a question at the chat box. Someone said, please, he said, could you please elaborate more on the storytelling skill? So when we talk about storytelling, for the essence or the major reason why we tell stories as leaders is to engage our and the teammates. There is a saying that all work without play makes Jack a dull boy. So the idea of telling stories is to get the attention of your teammate, getting the attention of your teammate, and that is one of the reasons why storytelling is an essential skill. However, another reason why it is also an essential skill is because if you are telling story, if you could give your tasks out as a story, if you could share out tasks to your teammates as a story, you could tell a story to better, in other words, it helps the teammates to be able to better comprehend the concept of the task or the assignment you are assigning to them. So when you are telling story, it is to the extent that your ambassadors, your teammates, your employees, they have a better understanding of the task you are giving them. And also, like I said earlier, it's also to lighten the mood. When you are in a conference meeting and everywhere is looking so serious and everybody's attention is, forget the fact that some persons are paying attention, but their mind is lost elsewhere. If you can tell a story sometimes to bring their mind back before you continue with your communication, it's a way to better engage your teammate. Now, the question that was earlier asked about clarity on the outreach. I don't want to make mention that, okay, there have been several clarity about your outreach via your email and via your WhatsApp. And I want to believe again that if adequate attention has been paid to the email, has been paid to the workshop that have been done in the time past, and also even to the WhatsApp messages that have been sent, probably that question would have not come up. But then I'm going to answer that again. I particularly said this during your opening ceremony some months back when you started this program. The outreach, remember the program is SDG Campus Ambassador. You are an ambassador for SDG. You are what? You are an ambassador for SDG. That is what you are. That is what you are sending out to your the colleagues, the people you are gathering for your outreach. So it is very important that you have all the necessary information you need to know about what SDG is, what SDG stand for, and why people should be a part of SDG. So your outreach is not necessarily, I'm still coming. Your outreach is not necessarily streamlined to your own SDG of choice. No. Your outreach is to some people in your campus don't even know what SDG is. So imagine gathering a group of 10 persons that don't know what SDG is, and then you are talking about SDG 1 or SDG 2 or any of the SDGs. They don't even know what you are talking about. So the outreach is to bring a comprehensive knowledge to your colleagues, to the people you'll be gathering, your campus colleagues, so that they can do what? They can understand what SDG is. I can tell you some of you on this program currently is due to the fact that the previous cohort brought you in on an idea of what SDG is, and they probably spur an interest in you that made you to be a part of this cohort now. However, after talking about SDG, the general term of what SDG is, you can still go ahead to streamline your own teaching, maybe a few minutes before your outreach, to talk about your own personal interest. It could be SDG 1, it could be SDG 2, SDG 3, or any of the SDG. So you have to actually talk about the whole SDG to bring people to the idea of what SDG is all about and why it is important for this present world. But you can as well talk about your own personal interests of SDG so that they can also find their own interests in SDG. I believe I've been able to answer that question. If no any other question, I don't understand the question that Abebe asked in Ethiopia. Abebe from Ethiopia, he said, is it only post or it should be documented? If you are talking about the assignment, please, you can post it on LinkedIn is the most required posting link, but you can also post on your other social handles. I believe that's all. If there's no any other question, or if there's any other question, it will be addressed. You can ask it on your WhatsApp platform, and I will do justice to that.
Sir, I have a question, but it's just more. I need more clarification on active listening. First of all, thank you very much for this wonderful session. I've learned a lot. A lot of people don't teach about this. In early sessions I've been to, they touched them a little bit, but for you, you went deep, and I hope this is going to help us in the next, next time that we are going to be out of this this program. So some people say that active listening is actually listening to someone telling you, maybe if there is someone reaching out to me with a problem, then I listen to them without actually giving out my point about it, and others say otherwise. Could you please tell us a little bit about it, and who the person actively listening, how do you know that person, and how do you actually I think you understand my question.
Okay, thank you very much. If I understand your question very well, you as a sender, as encoder, now you are asking, how do I know if my receiver, decoder, is actually actively listening to me? Is that your question?
Yes. And
okay,
before
thank
you
you
go
very
on,
much. Yeah.
And before you go on, I also like to ask you, can you share a time when active listening helped you better understand someone's need and solve a problem? Thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you.
That's all.
Okay, thank
All
you
right.
very, very much. So
All right.
from the first question that you asked earlier about active listening, see,
Yes.
the point is everyone will not have answers to your questions or to your challenges.
Yes.
And that is where you give room for what? You give room for research. Now, active listening is telling your sender, give me time to get back to you. So active listening does not necessarily mean you must give your feedback or your answer at that very moment. Active listening is your ability to understand what your sender has said,
Yes.
comprehend it, if possible, make necessary research that you need to, and then come back to deliver the right response. So active listening is only active when the feedback is useful.
Yes.
So when I am giving a feedback and it becomes useful to you, then I was active during the time you were passing your message.
Okay.
And I think I believe I've been able to answer that so that we don't take more time on that.
Yeah,
And then the
definitely.
other question, an example of where active listening has helped me. If you listen to the anchor, when she was reading about my bio, I worked in an NGO where I teach catering. I teach catering,
Yes.
and she said that I work with an NGO. So one of the ways by which I can effectively pass the knowledge that I have to my students in where I used to work is my ability to listen. So when I come to when I start the training with them, before even diving into teaching them what catering is, what this, I want to know the level to which they understand this thing they have registered for. So I give an opportunity for every one of them to tell me, okay, what do you know about catering? What have you learned about catering? What part of catering do you want to learn? What other part of catering do you want to learn? So they tell me what they want to do. They tell me what they want to learn, how it is, why the reason why they signed up to come and learn catering. It is in my understanding of what is needed by them that I am able to deliver the right thing that they need to them in catering. I understand their strengths, their weaknesses. I understand where I need to put in more focus. So, in other words, actively listening to their weakness and their strengths over time has helped me to produce many entrepreneurs in the catering industry that are doing well for themselves out there today. I believe I've been able to answer that.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
I have a question there.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if the anchor will still, I don't know, Miss Yetunde, can they go ahead with their question?
Yeah. Yes, they can.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
I was just wondering if we can utilize the groups that are allocated for favorite SDGs for communicating with our members, because, for example, the ambassadors that were unable to attend this meeting, and then they asked me if I attended and if I could share the notes with them. Can I utilize that group for that purpose?
Yes, are you the team lead for your group?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, you can. I said that earlier that you can communicate the assignment to them. Yes, you can also, if you have access to the slide, you can also share with them on the group, because most of them are not here, but they need this, and the assignment is compulsory for all ambassadors, both those that are here and those that are not here. And then I see someone from the chat box, Namibia. Sorry, Johanna from Namibia. She says she has a question, but she cannot utilize raising of her hands icon. Can you please go ahead with your question?
It's me, say. I just decided to use the mic.
Okay. That's fine. Thank
Thank you,
you
sir.
very, very. If there is no any other question, like I said, if you have any other question, even after this workshop, you could go ahead to drop your question on the group. Luckily for you, I'm the one you have been chatting with. I'm the one that I've been the Mr. Sam on your WhatsApp platform that I've been communicating with you people along with other teammates. So if you have any question, be sure that I will respond to your question on the WhatsApp platform. If there's no another question, I believe that will be all for today. Thank you once again. I'm saying a very big thank you to ADEF for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam. Really appreciate you and your presence. Thank you everyone for contributing to this section. It was fully packed and insightful. Thank you everyone. And that will be all for today. And on behalf of ADEV Africa, we say thank you once again and do have a wonderful day ahead. So if you have any question, you can communicate through the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Cualquier cosa, vale. Ahora fundió lo que él toca, ahora está fundido, o tu precepto.
Owen, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
I ask you a question, please answer me. Send us an updated timeline.
Yeah, okay. In case you have any question, you can just forward it to your WhatsApp community administrators and then they will respond effectively. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Polly. Thank you.
Yes,
Hello?
the meeting is ending and I'll be closing the group right now. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
No, sorry, I understand. Can I ask you a question? Hello?
Yes, what's the question, please?
Okay. I hope you, I text you or I use the inbox because it's not all about the meeting.
Okay.
Would you
So what's it
understand?
about?
Just wanted to ask you something about you, about your leadership journey, so that I can learn from it.
Oh, you mean me? You want to know more about my own leadership journey, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You can catch up with me on LinkedIn. My name is Yetunde
Yeah.
Junaid. You can check it out on LinkedIn or Facebook. You get my profile, so you can get more about
Actually,
it. So this section is closed right now.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. What's the name on LinkedIn?
It's Yetunde Junaid. You'll find it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll do that.
You're welcome. Bye.